Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Bedell. Recently, you issued orders sanctioning two entities, Open Sky and Patent Quality Assurance, for flagrant abuse of PTAB proceedings by imposing monetary sanctions, as well as removing both of them from those proceedings. Both filed IPR petitions in an attempt to extort a patent owner out of a piece of a large patent judgment awarded in court. And you later rescinded part of those sanctions by reinstating both abusers back into the PTAB proceedings. Why did you do that?
So that is actually an ongoing controversy. I can't talk about the facts of that particular case. I can talk about my decision-making generally, which is, as the director, I make decisions based on the information before me. I work with our solicitor's office, and we work with the Department of Justice as well to make sure that every decision we make is the right decision and legally appropriate. So that's all I can say on that right now, because I can't talk about the specific facts in that case.
Are monetary sanctions alone sufficient to deter PTAB abusers, considering the massive payouts they're attempting to extort and the fact that they may be allowed to continue their PTAB cases all the way to the end?
I will say at a high level that there are only certain sanctions that we can issue, and monetary sanctions are one of them.
Are they alone sufficient?
I've not investigated that because I didn't have the authority to do more than that, so I wasn't balancing anything against each other.
Now, what steps have you taken to address the serious concerns raised in the GAO's investigation last year into improper influencing of PTAB decisions by agency leadership and the lack of transparency in the decision-making process?
So first of all, I agree with all the recommendations from the GAO. The USPTO agrees with them. When I came on board, it was after the Arthrex decision, the Supreme Court decision, that really changed the role of the director vis-a-vis PTAB decisions. So I immediately updated the director review website that provides information to the public and the PTAB in terms of the role the director will play. I made it very clear that the director will not get involved in any decision making until the director plays her role under Arthrex. So in that case, there's no interference between me and the PTAB until they issue a final written decision. Once they issue it, then anything that I do is going to be on the public record. That is something that we set forth. We ask for comments on that process, and I intend to go into rulemaking as well to make sure that everything that we are putting into place to secure that system persists into the future.
Okay. Your memorandum outlining reforms to internal review of PTAB decisions retains mechanisms for individuals other than the judges deciding the case to communicate with the judges and potentially influence their decision before it's issued. Why are such mechanisms necessary, considering that you have the authority to review and change any PTAB decision after it's issued in a transparent way?
So I'm not sure which portion of the memo that you're speaking to. I know that some of the PTAB judges will want to consult with another PTAB judge in management or with our solicitor's office to ensure that they have the right understanding of something. So we do have the ability for them to do that. Nobody who they consult with has the right to direct their action. They're independent judges. Once they render their decision, then I would review it after that.
Okay. I'd love for a second round to talk about your lack of compliance with the Congressional Review Act, but let me ask you about the use of non-statutory discretion in PTAB cases. Stated basis for many of USPTO's PTAB rules, such as the NHK FinTIV rule and many of the proposed rules in its recent notice in Section 314A. Do you agree that Section 314A does not use the word discretion anywhere?
I don't have that in front of me. I'm happy to get back to you off the record on that.
Okay.
And I'm happy to provide the entire authority for discretionary denial off the record.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, I'm going to yield my final minute to the gentleman from Kentucky who has some burning questions.